Monster win for the Nuggets. Coming up, we'll tell you why Nikola Jokic clears Alperen Sengun and why this two-way player has been such a huge impact for your Denver Nuggets. Coming up on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your day, being an everydayer. Literally, you can join us at lockedonnuggets.supercast.com. Thanks for making us your first listen. And thanks for hanging out with us Monday through Friday, whether you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or at youtube.com/Locked On Nuggets. My name's Matt Moore. I've been covering the Nuggets for 14 seasons. I write at the Denver Dig. I write at Hardwood Paroxysm. I write at Fansided. I write at the Action Network, joined by Ryan Blackburn, host of the Pick Action Roll podcast and senior Nuggets writer for Mile High Sports, with you here on a late Monday night, Tuesday morning at 12:45 a.m. Mountain Time to discuss the Nuggets win over the Houston Rockets. 2-0 the Nuggets go to versus the Rockets in the season series. Talk about why that matters after a while. 128-125 in overtime versus those Houston Rockets. What a game. What an incredible game. We'll talk about it all on today's show. Want to let you know that today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. All right.
What a game.
Today's show, we'll get to the Nuggets win over the Rockets. We'll talk about all things in that. We'll talk about Spencer Jones and his big impact in this game. We'll talk about the twists, the turns, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, all of it. Plus why this was so important for this game and why this is another game that shows you the difference in this year's team versus last year's team as I continue to try and stab that narrative to death. Nuggets snap their 4-game losing streak at home. They rack up another win. They rack up another Western Conference win. They rack up another win versus a team over 500. And they improved to 19-6 now. They've won 5 in a row. They are 7-3 in their last 10. And they are 14-5 in the brutal Western Conference. Ryan Blackburn, what was your big takeaway from the Nuggets win over the Rockets?
Hey, they won a home game. Look at them. Look at the Nuggets just bringing it all together, winning one for the Gipper at home. It's really nice to see. No, I think this was first and foremost an incredible game. And I know Rockets fans are fuming. Rockets fans are not happy about all of the calls that apparently went against them and apparently went for the Nuggets. This such biased refereeing crew that I thought was bad both ways. This was not a biased thing in the slightest. But I do think that there was a sequence, Matt, at the end of the fourth quarter where Jokic goes at Sengun, hits him with a big boy and one. Sengun comes down immediately, hits him back with a Sombor shuffle. It was awesome. That was a great play. And then immediately back down, Jokic tries to run something for the team, realizes, okay, nothing's coming from it, just pops for 3, just puts a 3 right in the eye of the Rockets defense. And then it starts a string of threes both ways, where Reed Shepherd hits a 3, Spencer Jones hits a 3. Shout out Spencer Jones. What a huge game. Kevin Durant comes down and hits a 3. This was a truly awesome game played by two teams that were clearly rested, that were clearly up for the challenge, that wanted and knew how big this game was and really lived up to that moment and brought it in like very high level basketball. And the Nuggets coming out on top in a game like that, even when things didn't always go their way, was a really, really big deal.
Didn't always go their way. They're down 2 starters. They lose Peyton Watson in this game. They miss clutch free throws at the end of the game.
And not one, but 2 starters, 2 centers got fouled out.
Jokic fouls out.
Oh
Jonas has already fouled out. They have to put Spencer Jones in. By the way, I will talk about this tomorrow on Locked On NBA. Terrible coaching by Ime Udoka. Terrible coaching. How you have all this, like Sengun catches that ball with 4 seconds left. He has time to do something. They have no center.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, they were down 3, so like obviously they needed a 3, and once you catch at that point, you got to do something. But clearly, Denver did a great job of sniffing that out and protecting the ball from getting to Kevin Durant. That was clearly the way that they were trying to go, and the Nuggets sniffed that out. They did a great job defensively on that. They had a lot of great defensive moments in this game. I was frightened of the fact that like Denver can't foul up 3 in that situation, because like, yeah, sure, you take a foul. Usually if you make a free throw, you're down, like the other team is down 2. They have to miss intentionally. Okay. Well, you don't have Jokic, you don't have Valanciunas, and they've got Steven Adams and Clint Capella on the other side. Holy cow. How in the world are you going to box out an offensive player in that case? That would have been an automatic tip in, and I think as long as the Rockets missed correctly on rebound.
Well, like, yeah, as long as they pulled off maybe the hardest thing to do in all of basketball, then yes, I want to give them credit for being, if they would have been able to do that. So I was like, no, do not foul up 3. Do not foul. Like, let it play out, contest as best as you can, try to deny Kevin Durant. And they did a great job of that. There was so many great moments in this game, so many great heroes in this game for Denver. Should we talk about the fact that Tim Hardaway Jr. fell down on a away from play foul?
Yeah, so I'll just address this. I think genuinely, I think the Nuggets got a terrible whistle tonight. And like Rockets fans can be pissed. I have a well-established history of making Nuggets fans mad with how often I don't back up their claims that they get a terrible whistle. Jokic never gets any calls. I'm like, well, he actually is like one of the best free throw guys in the league. No, he never gets any calls. So like, I'm verified here. I have credibility on the subject. You got a great whistle tonight, Rockets fans, right up until that call. That fourth quarter was a disaster. It was a disaster zone. That crew was in over its head. I've been really frustrated with the officiating this season. It's been like, it's never good. You're never like, it's been a really good officiating season. Nobody ever says that. No one ever, and I understand it's a hard job. But like, I have high standard. Like Zach Zarb was actually a really good crew chief.
It's really
and
good.
Horrible tonight the whole way through. And there was so much nonsense that was going. Like Sengun was getting like touch calls and like everything. Like Sengun was grifted, and he only wound up with 6 free throws. I get it. I understand the numbers. On the play where Tim Hardaway Jr. files down that allows him to tie the game before Joker takes a 3, which I did not love that out of bounds call, which I can't really criticize because I found out tonight they're literally the best sidelines out of bound teams in the league. Found that out tonight, and I was like, maybe I should give them a little bit of credit. But on the play, to me, this is what it looked like. It looks like Tim starts to trip on his own. And as he's falling, a man makes contact with his shin on the back of Tim, which means that Tim can't recover and get up. And this is important. No one is denying that Tim was falling. No one is denying that. But if you impede the ability for the player to get up and make the catch, it's a foul. Now, I will be consistent here. I don't think they should call it. And the reason I don't think they should call it is the same reason I said they shouldn't have called the foul on Russell Westbrook last year in the Wolves game. It's why I don't think they should have called the foul on the Nuggets on the Jeremy Grant play. Don't decide games based off fouls. Don't do that.
Fair.
Unless they spear them through a table, do not do it. It has got to be an ECW event for me to really think that this is actually, it should be called in those kind of situations. So I do not agree with that call being made. But if you're a Rockets fan, I'm sorry. You cannot watch that fourth quarter and be like, we got screwed. No, sir. There was a bunch of nonsense. That crew is out of control on both sides of the floor. Jokic fouled out. How many times has Jokic fouled out in his career, Ryan? Like what, 6 maybe?
It's a very low number, and the foul that he did foul out on, they had an opportunity to go change the call after the Nuggets after they challenged that. The foul should have clearly been attributed to Murray, in my opinion, based off of the initial contact that he gave that caused Reed Shepherd to stumble. They still gave it to Jokic after reviewing it. So I'm not sure, like clearly the ref crew was not on their game, but that was not the reason why the Rockets lost, very clearly, in my opinion. I think that's why the Rockets lost was the fact that the Nuggets have 2 All-Stars on their team. Matt, they have 2 All-Stars. They have Nikola Jokic, who is clearly the best player in the world, He is clear of Alperen Sengun. This is the second game in a row where Sengun was pretty good in this game. 33, 10 and 10, 14 of 27 is solid efficiency.
It's really good. He was 52% from the field.
Yeah.
That was really good.
He was very good. Jokic was great. And it took a while for Jokic to get into that flow. I thought his first quarter was pretty shaky, but
I thought it was bad. I thought he was bad in that first quarter.
Yeah.
And then the bench got him back into it in the second quarter.
Yeah.
As you start to see more and more of the evidence of like, the Nuggets have a pretty good bench. Even if they're going to lose their minutes by a little bit, that's fine because they have enough nights where they are winning their minutes and tonight they were down. It was frustrating. And then all of a sudden, nope, the Nuggets came right back and rattled off that run in the second quarter. And then the end of the second quarter, the Nuggets really took it to them. And so I really thought Jokic struggled in that first quarter. And then defensively too. I did not enjoy Jokic's defense in the first quarter night. I thought his second half defense was excellent.
Yeah. And that's sometimes you're going to have to save it. Especially in a game like this where the Rockets were just throwing haymakers early on and they did a lot of great things. And you needed Jokic to be able to get there to the end of the game. And he got there to the 1 minute mark, the 1:20 mark of the overtime period. And so it is what it is. But the real difference again was Jamal Murray. The real difference again was just the fact that Jamal was so efficient. The 9 of 17 does not do him justice, Matt. It doesn't. The way that he had to carry and just bail out the team with late shot clock attempt after late shot clock attempt in the fourth quarter in OT, and he wasn't super efficient in those moments, I'll say.
I don't think he was bailing them out. I think it was about him dictating the terms. I think he was pretty in control. I don't think they were wild, crazy buzzer. But I thought he was getting to what he wanted. And I asked him after the game about his 15 free throws, which he was right. A lot of it was that they were in the bonus. But, to me, there was a lot of times when Jamal was just no, all right, if you're going to jam the paint like this, I could still drive on you. And he and Jokic both did this where they're just look, if you're going to pack the paint and play physical defense, we're going to beat you to the edge. And then we're going up and you're going to have to foul us. You're going to have to foul us. We're too good at finishers. And they did. That's how they got to the line.
Yeah, he was to have to go up against Simon Thompson like that on a consistent basis. He generated switches against Sengun on a consistent basis and cooked them for the most part. There were various other matchups. He hunted Reed Shepherd at one point there. He had
Reed.
The turnaround shimmy that he had in the post had Reed Shepherd jumping 3 feet to the left, and then Jamal turned back the other direction for a silky smooth buttery fade. Just a tremendous game for Jamal Murray, and another reason why he is an all-star this year.
A couple things to note here. The Rockets won the Josh Okogie minutes, and that actually made a lot of sense. I thought Okogie played really well in this game, and that was a favorable matchup to them. But they also won the Reed Shepherd minutes, and I'm just telling you right now, Reed Shepherd cannot play in the playoffs. Yeah. And Rockets fans are really adamant that that's not true, and that's why they're doing this, and he's going to learn and improve. Reed might improve over the next 2 to 3 seasons. He is not going to be ready by spring.
Yeah.
And I love Reed as a prospect and think he's going to have a great NBA career. He is not going to be playable in the playoff series. Lower your expectation. Because the Nuggets, who don't really hunt guys, were oh, come here, kiddo.
Yeah, there was a lot of this from Jamal tonight when he's trying to get Tim Hardaway or Bruce Brown or whoever to set a screen for him so that Reed could switch onto him and then they could put him in the action on a consistent basis. So, look, this is there's a lot of other factors, and Spencer Jones was a big one, but I do think that the Nuggets over the course of this stretch without Christian Brown and without Aaron Gordon specifically have needed to turn to Jokic and Murray more than they realistically have in a long time. And the way that those guys are responding to that, specifically Jamal, is better than he ever has. He is rising to the challenge in this, and he is playing better. He's more athletic. He's more versatile. He is extremely confident. He sees the floor better than he ever has. This is a Glaze session, I understand, but what Jamal is doing right now is unprecedented for him. And I see him playing the best basketball of his career. And that's even over the moments that he had in the bubble and the moment that he had on the 2023 championship run. Those moments are the highest of highs. And I think this moment is bigger, and I think it's better.
I think I don't think the moment is bigger.
Let me rephrase. He has been better, more consistent as a player in these moments.
I think the way to say it is that he has been a more complete player. Like he has all of the polish that comes with being a veteran.
Yeah.
And things aren't like, you don't have to do wild, crazy, insane things. And you're able to dictate the terms of the game and control it better. And I thought it was, yeah, he's been phenomenal. He's had a sublime season. Coming up, we'll talk about Spencer Jones and his big impact, the big threes that he was able to make. We'll talk about some of the other stats from this game and some of the other interesting matchups as far as this goes. Is this a good matchup for Denver? I want to get Ryan's thoughts on that. We'll talk about that coming up on Locked On Nuggets. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. Oh, that hurts to read. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're just not watching the game. You're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Lots of opportunities to get in on the Broncos this season at various points and be able to come out ahead by betting them live, because this is a team that has shown the ability to come back time and time again. Like, there's been lots of good opportunities to get in on them when they're down. Playing against them when they go down in the first half and then betting on them to win the game outright has been a phenomenal thing. I have an angle to be able to take, and I bet it continues for at least a little bit until whenever the season ends, the regular season ends. Live betting is best when the games start to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly, and player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto, all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Back here on Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us and making this part of your day. Appreciate you guys being here with us on a Tuesday after the Nuggets get the win versus the Rockets. Before we touch on Spencer Jones, the big battleground in this game is against the Rockets is always going to be offensive rebounds, and they're really fascinating to kind of watch. I was talking about this in the Discord, which, by the way, I am no longer tweeting during Nuggets games. All of my stuff is going to be on our Locked On Everydayer Discord. So if you want to jump in there, ask questions, be with the rest of the crew, the folks that you know from the comment section, you got to sign up to be an Everydayer, and you'll get access to our Discord. And I'll be in there. I'll sharing charts and graphs and takes, and I will say things that I won't say on Twitter, and lots of stuff in there. So make sure to sign up to be an Everydayer. You're going to get exclusive content from us. Lots of awesome stuff. Sign up at our Locked On Everydayer Club. Go to lockedonnuggets.supercast.com to sign up now. I was talking about this in there about the offensive rebound stuff. They're a weird team in that their efficiency, Ryan, actually isn't good on offensive rebounds. The Rockets don't score at a high efficiency rate. The problem is there's no way to track if it's rebound, put back, miss, rebound, put back, miss, rebound, put back, miss. But either way, their actual efficiency there isn't terrific. And what was interesting is they won the offensive rebound battle tonight, but this is the numbers that I really do think are really meaningful. They had 19 second chance points to the Nuggets 12, but they were just 7 of 15 on those. They scored 19 points on 15 attempts on second chance points. The Nuggets scored 12 points on 6 attempts. They were more efficient with those. And so, yes, you gave up 7 more second chance points, which are theoretically points you can take away, but making them work more for it. And I still think contesting, it does balance it out a little bit in the end, especially since the Nuggets shot 51% from the field and 44% from three.
Definitely helps. The Nuggets, when they are at their best in terms of protecting second chance points, they do a good job of contesting at the rim again. it's when they have to go out to 3-point shooters again that I think they really struggle. It's like we've got a Spurs fan in here. It's the Spurs when if they get an offensive rebound, they're spraying out to Harrison Barnes or Julian Champagny or somebody of that nature. If it's the Rockets, they're not doing that as often. Now they will, but they only took in an overtime game, they took 25 total threes. We've talked about the margins. We've talked about the way that Denver can really help themselves. It looked like the Rockets were trying to bash Denver's brains in for half of this game. And especially on the offensive glass, when they could get there, they're just muscling their way in. They're trying to get to a comfortable spot. And Denver kind of allowed them to get there sometimes and even allowed them to get the offensive board. But if they're only giving up twos on that case, and that's 80% of the time, 70% of the time, you're going to be okay. So glad to see them able to do it. It's been nice to see Denver kind of figure some things out because you have to win on the margins against this team. The Rockets are so talented, man. Like they have so many different guys that can just go get a bucket and go do some crazy things and win on those margins. So you got to find one other way to jump in.
Spencer Jones with 2 massive corner threes late in this game. Had to play center at the end of this game with Jokic fouling out. Guarded Sengun. I actually did not like having him on Sengun on the final possession of regulation for the Rockets, where they were able to tie the game on the Sengun turnaround. Go ahead.
So it was a switch.
I figured it was a switch, but you got to scram that.
It was. I actually personally, I think watch it again. I think that they did a really good job with Durant and Sengun to force Jokic to kind of have to jump out on Durant. Just the way that they sort of navigated it, but it's tough. Like that, those are the kinds of really difficult situations that you're put in because Durant is such a lethal mid-range shooter. But like Spencer Jones is, like, to your point, just where would Denver be at this point without having a guy like Spencer Jones to be able to step in, like with Aaron Gordon out, with Christian Brown out, with Peyton Watson now out. Like I don't know what Peyton's, like they said it was short term, something that they're not worried about long term, but like Spencer being able to step in as a starter and not only hitting threes, but like doing all of the smart stuff has been so huge. Like he is such a smart and versatile basketball player.
He's getting better every single game too.
Yeah.
He was talking in post game about how AG has been talking him through how to play the dunker spot. And you see that happening where he's getting a lot more of those cuts. Like Jokic really trusts him. Jokic really likes him. Like Jokic, I think really likes playing with Spencer Jones. I think that's been like a very positive kind of interaction where like Spencer's a smart guy, so it makes a lot of sense. Like Spencer's a really smart player and a really smart person, and that stands out when talking about him. I asked him tonight after the game. I asked him a little bit about their slicing on the closeouts, because if you'll notice, like there's like little stuff where I'm gonna do a breakdown on it about how they approach baseline closeouts, because if you're watching it and if you're somebody, like I'm not saying it's like let me put it this way, the old me. Like me from 10 years ago is like, that's a bad closeout. You're giving up the baseline, because I never want to give up the baseline.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is like, if a guy that you know is good is doing something over and over again, it's probably because that's the scheme and that's the design tactic. And like, there's reasons for why they've built it that way that they have, and it is really smart. But yeah, I mean, Spencer has been absolutely just tremendous, and the numbers are getting better and better every night with him on the floor. It's just absolutely been terrific. How about this one? Spencer Jones and Tim Hardaway Jr. together this season, 124.2 offensive rating, 112 defensive rating, plus 12.3 with those two on the floor.
That's with Jones and Jonas. Is that what you said?
THJ.
Okay, so like that's a real rotation that they could throw out there. You get the blend of offense and defense. You get the size and the speed. You get some versatility there. So I like that. And just having another guy that you can throw out as an option is just so valuable. Now, Spencer's been like, he's still learning some stuff, and there's still some ball handling stuff that he has to learn how to do. Like there's a lot of times in transition where he catches the ball, Jokic fires it ahead to him, and he immediately turns around and is like, here, Jamal Murray, behind me, like in transition. So there's still some things that he is going to have to navigate, and like, but he's trying not to make mistakes. He's trying to stay on the floor. He's trying to do the right thing. And so I give him credit for that, and also give him credit. Like he knows what he's out there to do, but what he's out there to do is now expanding a little bit, because he's shown the capacity to be able to handle the stuff that he is doing with the Nuggets right now. And as Jokic and Murray continue to trust him, as they continue to find him in the right spots, Matt, I think he's going to be a player that like this 50-day two-way contract designation that they're going to have on him. They're going to have to solve that, because the role that he is filling right now is essential. Whether he is the player that needs to fill that role in the playoffs, I don't know, but they need somebody who can do it. And he so far has been the right guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think the reality is you don't do anything until your time is up, because it's just financial stuff.
Yeah.
Like they will squeeze the 50 days out.
What Nuggets fans should be hoping for what it's worth, they should be hoping for a 4-year contract that you convert Spencer Jones to a full-time deal. It's it's a nice raise for him. Maybe it's above the league minimum, but it's something, or maybe there's a couple of rules that kind of make it a little bit more financially advantageous, but it gives Spencer Jones some clarity. It gives the Nuggets some clarity, and it makes him eligible for the playoffs. And like, I think you want him eligible for the playoffs if you're a Nuggets fan. He's already proven that he can be trusted like this.
Under no circumstances should Spencer Jones or the Nuggets attempt a 4-year contract.
Well, usually what happens is you get the non-guarantees or team options towards the final couple of years of that deal.
Yeah,
so
like Spencer, like you're starting. Wait, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, fair.
It's fine. Denver 46% from the field in the half court tonight. Rockets 51%. I want to talk about this. Denver can't stop Houston, and yet Denver's 2-0 against them. Both games have been close, Ryan. I kind of like this matchup for them. There's nothing, for them to be as big as they are. They don't have a Rudy Gobert to throw at Yoke. They don't have that kind of entity. They don't have the disruptive nature of OKC's wings. Like Amen's awesome, but it's Amen is the only elite defender on the perimeter, and Okogie is, I think, maybe a B plus, A minus is what I would put Okogie. I really like Okogie's defense. Jabari's actually, I thought Jabari Smith Jr. was terrific tonight, and he is a really good player.
He doesn't get enough shots for them.
No. And so, but I kind of like this matchup for Denver. I don't like this matchup for Houston. I think Houston can win on Saturday. And, because it's hard to be a team 3 times in a row, but in the paper, rock, scissors of the Western Conference, I kind of like this one for Denver a little bit.
Is OKC a gun in this case? Is because Denver can't have the advantage over both the Rockets and the Thunder in that case.
No, I think it's not even so much about like one team beats another. It's about like the aggregate of all of the matchups.
I hear you. And like, I get what you're saying too. I think that you're right. This is a matchup that Denver should feel reasonably good about. Like they understand what the Rockets are trying to do. And often what the Rockets are attempting to do on the defensive end is speed Denver up, force turnovers, put them into uncomfortable positions, play very physical. The Nuggets are actually pretty good at handling that for the most part. And like with Murray playing the way that he's playing, with Jokic playing the way that he's playing, the overall basketball IQ of this team, they don't get sped up as often as other teams do. So, like, and they also just have the overall offensive talent that so many of these other teams don't have to sort of supersede that. So I do think that there's something to it. Is there something that Houston has? Because like Houston's still been able to score. I think it was actually, no, it was like 112 to 109 in that first game. And then or was it 122 to 119? I don't remember. But this game, it felt like they could score and that they left some opportunities on the table with some turnovers and with some missed free throws and things like that. But they still shot 51-48, like as you mentioned. So like they shot the ball really well. Like how much better can they get on the offensive end, I think is a fair question against this Nuggets team.
Yeah. And I don't know that you want to really, I think this is part of the problem is you're not going to win a shootout with Denver or even an offensive slugfest. Like they have more offense than you. You had a great offensive night and Denver still walked out with a win. And you can say like, you can point out the fouls, and I think it's fair. Like, if we're really talking about this, and we're going to break this down, and we're going to just look at it from a number standpoint, Denver makes 3 more threes. The Rockets make 4 more field goals. The Rockets have 6 more turnovers. Nuggets win the turnover game, win the game again.
That is a very large rarity for this Nuggets team. They are the 30th ranked team in forcing turnovers. So that's a big deal whenever they could do this.
But they are pretty good this season at not turning the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a kind of a key there. And then the free throw gap is massive. Now, some of this is, again, like bonus and like at the end of the game, right? Like Jamal missing the one that he was really mad about. But like Rockets got 25 free throws, never did get 34.
But they made theirs because Denver's actually a pretty decent free throw shooting team this year. Like
right.
they've got some confidence there. And so we'll see if that continues. That could obviously shift. Like we'll see if that sticks. But they're doing the right things. And they're 19-6, and they've found a good rhythm. And you kind of mentioned, like, you want to talk about the difference between this year's team and last year's team. Like, I don't think last year's team keeps up with the Rockets in this case. Like, I think they run out of gas.
Yeah. Well, they just don't have the firepower.
Yeah.
Like, the bench gets annihilated. They don't have that second quarter run. The bench gets annihilated. The Nuggets are struggling to get all the way through. And it is like all the more difficult for Denver to be able to create shot opportunities for Jokic and Murray. So, yeah.
I want to give credit to Jonas Valanciunas. I know he fouled out in this game, but he had 8 points in that first half and did a really nice job of stabilizing things for them.
His ability to hit that when he comes off of the pin down or the screen and he moves the other side of the floor and he catches into the fadeaway, that is such a difficult shot that he is automatic on. Like, that is such a high percentage look that he gets every single time. That's a really great shot that Jonas is able to get to pretty consistently.
And not having to get to the rim all the time is really important because, especially against a team like the Rockets, they have some serious athleticism. So do what you need to do at 15 feet or 10 feet or 8 feet. And Denver's got those guys.
As far as like what this means for playoff stuff. So Denver goes to 2-0 versus Houston because of this being a replacement game from the Cup. The Rockets and Nuggets now play 4 times total. They will play again in Denver this upcoming Saturday. By winning this game and going to 2-0, Denver can't lose head-to-head tiebreaker. I track these things really closely. If you've been listening for a while, that's massive that they can't lose it. Now, the problem is that because the Thunder are very likely to secure the 1 seed, and the Rockets, if things play out the way that we're expecting, then Houston would have division winner tiebreaker if they split 2-2. So if Houston wins the next 2 and wins the division, they win tiebreaker. But let's say San Antonio catches up and San Antonio passes them, and it's Denver and Houston battling over the 3 seed. Then in that case, Denver, through a number of means, just by winning this game, means they can't lose this head-to-head tiebreaker. It's massive. And proving that you can beat Houston, I think, is really good from a confidence level standpoint. I'll just say this. Beating Houston, as much as I'm the guy that you need to beat those bad teams at home, and you do, I have confidence they will the rest of the season.
Yeah.
This win is more meaningful and more important than the win versus the Bulls, as a good example. An Eastern Conference team that doesn't really matter. That game doesn't matter. The Kings loss was bad. That was a genuinely bad one. That's a Western Conference home loss to a bad team. You don't get a lot of those. But these wins versus the Rockets are significant, and they deserve a lot of credit for getting them without Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson. By the way, as far as Peyton Watson goes, for those of you worried about Peyton, it was a bone on bone was what David Allen thought post-game, and he thought it could be one of those things where he could miss some time or he could be back next game. It sounded more like a discomfort thing than anything else. I wouldn't be surprised if Peyton's available on Thursday.
Yeah, there was a reason why he walked back over to the bench. He didn't just stay at the locker room or anything like that. Yeah. He should probably be available in relative short order. Maybe he gets another game off, but I got to imagine that they're could we see Deron Holmes get called up at some points again? Like, is that in the cards? Like, if they or are they going to go to Hunter Tyson, Zeke Naji, and just be good with that? Or Julian Strawther?
You're like the little girl praying by the side of her bed every night. God bless mommy and daddy, and please bring me a Duron Holmes actual rotation minutes. And it's not going to happen, bud.
I know. I just want to see him play against the Utah Jazz and dunk. That would be cool. Just dunk. It's fine.
Hey, that's the Utah Jazz team that beat Cooper Flagg's 40-point performance tonight. So
yeah.
By the way, the Jazz are a half game back of the play-in.
That'll change.
Yeah. What's funny is one of their beat writers who I really like Andy out there was talking about how you could tell that their rotation indicates that they're shifting to a quote development phase.
Oh,
like they benched Nurkic. They started Filipowski, who was awesome tonight versus the Mavericks. They brought in Collier at the 8-minute mark. Like they shifted to tank and then they beat the Mavericks.
That's awesome.
A team they're competing against in the tank wars.
Oh, wow. The young guys that we have drafted are good. We got to stop playing them like Walker Kessler.
Oh, before we get out of here, Cameron Johnson +8 team high. By the way, just want to let certain people in the comments know that he was +8 tonight.
He had a bad first half. It was a bad one.
He was really bad first half.
And bad. I give him credit. Now, Denver's in this place where Jokic and Murray are basically taking all of the burden, all the responsibility on right now. Again, I will reiterate that there are going to be times where Cam Johnson needs to take more shots and be more involved and do some extra stuff. However, I'll give him credit where credit is due. He hit a couple of very important threes in the second half, and just having that extra layer is really valuable. I hope he continues to build upon it. There's the Nuggets just need him to be more stable and more of a lifter than he has been, especially if Peyton Watson's going to miss any time.
+8 sounds like team best +8 sure sounds like he's lifting. But.
Let's go.
Bruce you were harsh on Bruce tonight. 1 of 3 from the field. He was scoreless in the first half, finished with 2 points off of that steal that he had in the third. He had 9 rebounds. He was really mad he didn't get the last one. He dropped a rebound that would have been his 10th.
Yeah.
9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. I thought Bruce was great tonight.
He did a lot of
energy and was great.
All of the hustle things that you want from him. That's why you bring in Bruce. It is not because you want a whole bunch of points, and I don't need a whole bunch of points from Bruce. That's not what I'm saying. I do think that we are getting to a point with Bruce where some of the offensive struggles in terms of traditional running a pick and roll and driving to the lane are issues with that second unit, especially if they don't have another point guard out there initiating. So Murray played the entire fourth quarter tonight, and he played a whole bunch of minutes. And
I'm going to push back here, man. They got a 119.9 offensive rating with Yoke on the bench this season.
It's pretty good.
I know it's hard because it's but there's zeros on the box score. I get it. I do. I get it. I get it why fans act like this, but I kind of side with Adelman here where it's is the offense as a whole, as a team, working?
Yeah.
And so it's it doesn't matter how you distribute the points. It really doesn't. Joker should have taught us that more than anything. That it doesn't matter how you distribute the points. As long as you're scoring enough points per possession, that's all that matters. Right?
So with the Nuggets in the championship year, he shot 55% from 2-point range. This year, he's at 46. There is a distinct difference, I think, in just some of that stuff. It is early. It's still 25 games into the season. There's plenty of time for things to shift, like what we talked about with the championship year. Bruce didn't start that year that great. And then, holy cow, Bruce is really good and super valuable in a playoff setting. And this is the reason, the hustle stuff is the reason why. It's not the actual shooting. And then he gets confidence, and then he makes shots. So, I will see. We'll see how it goes. But he is adaptable to the point, and he gives them a little bit of versatility and some defense and things like that. And that has obviously been helpful. He was very important tonight without Peyton.
With Bruce on the floor without Nikola. This actually does surprise me. I would have thought this would be negative. With Bruce on the floor without Nikola, 118 offensive rating, 111.5 defensive rating, plus 6.8.
All right, I'm just gonna go to bed then, because like at this point, I feel like I'm making valid points, but the numbers are just refuting it. They're good.
You are right. Where it's like doesn't he need to shoot better? The answer is no. Like, he doesn't need to shoot better. You know why? Because the Nuggets offense is a wagon.
Yeah,
that's the important thing that I will keep hammering is please understand. Everyone needs to understand how great this Nuggets offense is. They are so good.
Yeah,
they're so good. Okay, it's gonna do it for Locked On Nuggets. Appreciate you guys being with us. We will be with you again tomorrow night for No Jinx, Tuesday night. Then back with me and Swipe on Thursday. We'll preview the Magic game. We'll be at the Magic game, post-game Magic, Boom and Gloom on Friday. Check out lockedonnuggets.supercast.com. Sign up for the Discord. Sign up for the text service because we're gonna start sending out texts on that side too, which means you're gonna get stuff from us like throughout the day, giving you like insider stuff, cool stuff that we see, all the research. Check it out at lockedonnuggets.supercast.com. Check out Ryan's work at Mile High Sports. We'll see you guys again next time. Thanks for joining us on Locked On Nuggets. What a win.
I can't get a single number correct. It's crazy.
You got one number. 6-7! Oh, I'm still on.
We're still live. What are you doing?